What's going on? Welcome back to the podcast. All right, so in this new format, as you all know, I've got some compound Olympic recurve followers on the Peak Archery podcast. I have, which is it's definitely more compound hunting related, as with other all the disciplines really, just coaching and information related. And then we have the barebow project. Well, this episode is going to be cross posted because it applies to both. This is going to be a CoachCast that's going to be coaching discussion, and this one is going to have some excerpts. I think that's the word. I don't know. I might have to edit that. From Choose to Be a Winner. I talked to Jens Fudge, the author of this amazing book. Details in podcast info, and we talked about sharing some of the information from this book. There's some really good stuff in this book, and while this kind of covers everything in archery, there's two things as we approach the classic that I wanted to include, and there are exercises that are actually like discussed in the book itself. One is under the visualization chapter, and one is under the mental training chapter. So that would be chapter 5, page 47. If you're not one to read books, I know Yen and also Larry Wise, who has, here it is right here, Playing to Peak in Archery. We'll be doing some from this as well. Those books are available in audio format, so you can pick them up that way as well. So let's see here. All right, chapter 5, mental training. We're going to read a short part of this, and then we're going to get right into the exercise. Mental training is an important part of training in all sports if you want to improve, and especially if you want to do really well in competitions. Of the athletes I have met, most of those have spent time on their mental preparation. They do much better at competitions than those who have not spent any time on mental preparation. It's more or less obvious. The larger the competition, the better the opponents you will meet. It's more or less obvious. The larger the competition, the better the opponents you will meet are going to be. I think that's a language, an English translation error. Certainly at the Olympic Games, all of the archers have the best gear money can buy. They have all trained hard, shooting thousands of arrows. They have all trained hard, shooting for thousands of hours. They are at their peak of cardiovascular condition as well as their strength. I know a lot of amateur shooters don't worry about cardio or strength training or any of that stuff, and they should. In short, they are totally aware which way to point the arrow. They surely know exactly how to shoot the arrow and make it hit the center of the target. You have to compete against these opponents. Naturally, there can be one or two who really stand out on a technical level or by strength. But as a starting point, everyone at the Olympic Games is more or less at the same level. You have to compete against these opponents. So there's some other information here, where Yen just kind of goes into detail about, the building blocks of shooting well and some of the things that we talk about already, to be quite honest with you, in the barebow project and what we've talked about with mental training in regards to the Peak Archery podcast. But there's this exercise here that caught me off guard because I didn't expect to see it, and I don't think that myself ever as a competitor did enough legit mental training. There are times when I've shot my best while I was exercising. I would often sort of put myself, even during exercising, in situations while, if I was trying to. So I'm very goal driven. So if I'm running a 5K, I have a specific time in mind. my goal for that time is to hit this per mile average and overall time, and I want it to be under my PR or at least close to it. And I will like say to myself, like, you know, when you have the drive to push yourself to those limits, it carries over to the shooting line, because you then can have the drive to mentally commit to staying focused and in the moment and stuff like that. So this mental training exercise, it's called relax. Lie down or sit in the position where you are able to relax. Best if you can find a spot where you won't be disturbed. The exercise can be anything from 5 to 15 minutes, as long as you want, really. Of course, if you are using a soundtrack for exercise, the soundtrack will determine the duration. Once you are relaxed, I want you to close your eyes and breathe deeply and calmly. This consciously, thinking consciously about each breath, where you think about breathing in, holding for a little while, and breathing out. Find a calm rhythm of your breathing. Once you have found a calm rhythm, you are going to relax all the muscles in your body. Start with your forehead and work your way down your body. Think about relaxing your forehead while you still concentrate on breathing deeply and calmly with the rhythm you found there, or that you found before. Once your forehead is relaxed, think about your cheeks, your jaw, your tongue. Work your way all the way down your body with the neck, chest, arms, shoulders, stomach, back, thighs, calves, muscles, and feet. Once you feel that your entire body is relaxed, you can stay in that state for a couple of minutes before you choose to wake it up or wake up again. If you haven't tried anything like this before, don't worry if you only get to the breathing bit. It takes practice to put yourself in that state of deep relaxation, and you may have to try this many times or even days or weeks. This is a basic exercise. Later, when we get into the more meaty ones, that's like later on in the book, which I won't go over. Go buy the book if you want to get into those. I will refer to this as relax. Practice makes perfect. If you can practice this enough, you'll soon be able to get into that state of relaxation within a few seconds. When you feel confident that you can do this exercise, you can lie down and relax. Then you can expand it with the feeling of heaviness and the feeling of heat. Both heaviness and heat can be good to master the exercise. If you find the nervousness having too much influence on you, or you need to get your heart rate down, in the chapter about mental energy, I discussed nervousness in more detail. Remember, you can find some downloadable soundtracks for these exercises as well on the website, or given in the chapter on the additional resources. It's pretty good. I think it's good stuff. It's definitely nothing I've ever tried before. I mean, the closest thing to trying to relax, I would say, I may have done some meditation, somehow incorporated with like a yoga class type deal. But here's one, visualization. This is definitely one that I am familiar with and firmly believe in. Visualization plays a significant role in mental training. You can use visualization for a lot of things. For example, you can, use it to prepare for a gold final for the next competition before you physically shoot it. You can use visualization to train your muscles without actually moving them. Use a visualization as a competition while you are actually at the competition. You can use visualization when competition is over, especially if you had success at the competition. A golden moment, perhaps. Visualization can physically enhance your performance. If you are injured, visualization can even help speed up the healing process. Visualization boosts your self-confidence. 100% true. So exercise. To get started with visualization, I would like you to get your bow out. Athletes other than archers can use an object from your sport, like a golf club, a bowling ball, football, whatever. I'm going to use the bow as an example, but use your chosen object. Take the bow in your hand, twist and turn it, look at it, feel it. Look at the color, look at any markings on it. Look at the plunger, the ARS, sights, stabilizers. Look and feel as though at the string, the serving, look at the limbs, take it all in. With as much detail as possible, now put the bow down again. Now close your eyes and see your bow. Feel it. See and feel as many details as you possibly can. It's probably easiest going through the bow in the same order that you physically had it in your hand. If you find it difficult, put this, it's just because you need some practice. And it might help if you use the relax exercise that we talked about earlier in the chapter on mental training. Once you get your breathing under control, try again. With the deep, calm breathing, see your hand hold and grip of the bow. Notice the same things you noticed before when you physically had the bow in your hand, but this time you were just playing on the film that you recorded in your mind. Your thoughts, your feelings of the string. You feel what it feels like to touch the string, see and touch the bow in your thoughts with as much detail as possible. See if you can visualize the sight, if you have one, that is, and the feeling of the entire bow. The exercise finishes once you have thought the entire bow through as well as you can. Remember, this is eyes closed. And I kind of like it. Like it teaches you or discusses with you, like, well, how you take and you control your thoughts while you're shooting. We talked about it, quite extensively with Matt Zernzak on the push. John and I talked about it the other night in the live feed recording that we did. Like, where you put your brain while on the shooting line is crucial to what your performance is going to be. If you can stay mentally engaged in every arrow, you're going to have a great day, providing you've put in the work. You put the work in on not just shooting, but form and stuff, but like your tune and preparation and all that. So, the goal here with this is to kind of bring that together, give you an idea of like some of the information that's covered in this amazing book, and give you an option to, try to improve a little bit. So don't forget, like, let me also add to the visualization side of things. You can do other drills, and that's as far as I've read. So I haven't gone past if this is mentioned, but you should be using visualization when you're shooting blind bail. You should be using visualization when you are using a stretch band. You're practicing your form. Stand on the shooting line and just visualize watching those arrows land in the middle of the target. There's a sound that happens. There's a feeling, when that's going in. Repeat that without actually physically doing it. Repeat it in your brain and like almost like you're visualizing it, but you're hearing and feeling the arrow, that entire process, that arrow landing in the middle of the target. I can't tell you how important that is, and how, myself included. I mean, I don't necessarily consider myself like really like one of the high-end competitors anymore, because I don't put the time in. But it doesn't mean I shouldn't still do it, or put that whatever work I can put it in and make good use of that time and do more of the visualization stuff. So anyway, that's it. This is a CoachCast, short one, just to kind of push you guys as we get ready for indoor season and the Classic coming up and indoor nationals, all this stuff, just to really push you all to not just shoot arrows every time you go. Do more. Visualize. Shoot blind bail. You're going to be seeing a target sit above that cabinet right there. And I'm going to be shooting blind bail right here in my office. What's going on, people? It's been a minute. I haven't done a coaching vlog in a while, and we're here in our little private range that we shoot at, and shooting with Denver last week, we were just talking about different lighting and how things affect your aim, and we talked about it a little bit on the last podcast. But listen, tonight or today, I need to get a practice session in early. Got something going on, recording with the push archery this evening, so I wanted to go out and shoot, but I wanted to test sort of how the lighting affects my aim. So this is really easy to do, and I'm telling you, it really forces your concentration on target. So just to explain, I just shot a basic 300 round. I actually did not do tally it yet because I usually just snap photos of the end. But I'll show you. We got targets across these short bales here. And what I did, it actually started over here on the 3 spot. And what I did is I shot at the 3 spot first. I did an end here and then moved all the way across the bales. And you can put as many targets up as you want. There happens to be 5 here, so it sort of worked out. And then I went back. And you can see, like, when you make a good shot, you can see, try to recognize. Now, it's not on these arrows, because they actually are a little bit shiny. These are the Easton Max 23 diameter X23s, and the black, you can kind of see it here. See if you can get close to that. I don't know if you can. You can see that shine right there with my shirt in the background. So that's what I see at full draw. I can see that. And you go from one side to the other. And I'll tell you something that we don't consider enough is I did not take a picture of that. Damn it. I'll have to leave that there and take a picture. Lighting from windows, lighting from overhead lights. If you look, so we have these lights down here, and you can see in our range here, a little range here, light there, different type of light there, and we have the window light in the side. So it really changes the dynamic of what you see on the arrow. Pay attention to that. I will tell you that one of the things that I am really trying to focus on as a shooter is consciously holding through the aim and really letting that point settle. More times than not, I had, I think, 2 flyers today that were like 6.5s, hit the exact same spot. I know it happened. I just short circuited the shot. But you know, I'm definitely pushing the conscious side of the process longer. And what's happening is my release is becoming, while it's still completely subconscious, but it's more not static, but it's like controlled. It's a very controlled, precise release. It's not really fluid, which when I shot Olympic recurve is something that I definitely chase to shoot more completely subconscious, because the clicker does all the work. So, hey, I mean, that's what I'm working on, and I'll be honest with you, definitely worked really well today, minus 2 flyers that one was a 5. I don't know if the other one, yeah, and a 5. See the hole. So I shot 2 5s. Everything else was 8 and in. And that's out of 10 arrows, 2 of those arrows were definitely, like, on a scale of 1 to 10, they were like, well, they were 5s. Rest of them were all pretty good. Very few 8s. So I'll post those pictures at the end of this video so you can see it. And that's it. Good luck. I hope this helped you. All right, so take a look at this target. You can see those 3 out to the right. I was wrong. It wasn't 2, there was 3. It was the 5, 2 5s, and a 6. Those were just blow-ups. Those were arrows that full draw, got to the middle, and tried to stop the aim instead of just letting it float, and just kind of collapsed out of it and sent them far right. You can see, like, looks like a pluck, you know. It was just a horrible aim is what it was. And then the ones on the top are me not settling enough on the aim, consciously allowing it to settle enough before I allow that subconscious switch to happen. So basically what it is, my bow arm is still moving up ever so slightly before I'm really settling into the aim and the shot. So I just want to break down this target. This arrow pattern was shot on 5 different targets in the vlog portion of this. So I was able to just keep the score on the app, shows where all my impacts were shooting at the different targets, and it really, it's a challenge shooting at the different lane assignments, different lanes, different targets. It's kind of like shooting that first end all over again 10 times in a row. Very much a mental challenge to do, and to shoot a competitive score. This ended up being a 259 with 2 5s and a 6. I'm not gonna lie, I'm kind of happy with it. You take those 3 arrows and turn them into 10s, and you have one hell of a half. So I'm okay with it. It's where I'm at. It's okay. I got work to do. So time to get to work. Same for you. Good luck out there. Barebow project out. Don't forget, sign up for the advanced seminar coming up in March. Don't forget, sign up for the online seminar. It's 2 days coming up in April. Yeah. All right. Peace out. Oh, and one more thing. Patreon subscribers. Patreon subscribers get free coaching. All the details are on the Patreon page. You just got to join. It's limited. It's not like every day we're talking video and on the phone, but it's my way of giving back to the people that support Barebow and support the Barebow project. So, yeah, check that out too. All right, see ya.